Hello, I'm Kieran, the Dungeon Master here with the Dirty 20s, and welcome to the Icarius Galaxy, the setting of our future Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign to be streamed live in the coming days, months, and maybe even years. We will be streaming our campaign set in this world live on Twitch for the first time on Sunday, May 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then every Sunday after that on Twitch, with the VODs being uploaded on Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on YouTube. This will be a video explaining the world our game is set to take place in, so that you can properly immerse yourself in it before our first game starts. This video isn't necessary viewing, but for those looking to be more informed, you are in the right place. Lastly, before I jump into the lore, please remember to subscribe here and ring the notification bell so as not to miss out on any of the VODs of our streams, as well as anything else that may be coming out in the coming days. But for now, enough of the boring stuff. Let's get right into the lore as I explain the history and background of the Icarius Galaxy that our players are soon to find themselves immersed in. In the beginning, there was but a spark, a drop of near infinite mass within the closest space to a single-dimensional point, and rapidly, over the course of less than a second, the spark expanded out into the burgeoning universe. Within moments, consciousness is developed, drifting amongst the chaos of the new creation. The star beings were born. The Star Mother, World Eater, Judge, Primordial, and the Dreamweaver, to name a few. These beings represented fundamentals, constants that would permeate into the evolving starscape around them. And over the course of billions of years, this expanse condensed back into pockets of stars and planets. One of those clusters is the Icarius Galaxy. Eventually, the earliest planets began to host single-celled life. Though it did not come easy, and most would not survive into the modern day, three key groups of worlds would host life, and eventually find each other, and make alliances of their own together. The beginning of the modern day occurred when the first sentient beings began to craft tools on the planet Iphis. This was the earliest location that such a practice could be observed, and from here things only became stranger. Other worlds began to sprout life, some mortal, clinging onto life with every thread of their being, and others less so. Around 3.4 million years ago, the first true dragons were born, and with their immense power, dominant over the rest of their world, they quickly asserted their control. Though none exist today from quite so far back then, their descendants carry them their stories and the legends of power that true ancients can hold. Not much later, the devils would rise, though none from back then would make it to modern day, much like the dragons. Their unique ability to return to their homeworlds instead of perish ensures that most endure long and prosperous lives. With the ancient beings on the rise and mortal species undergoing rapid and diverse evolutionary lines, the first gifts were given. As the star beings, seen as gods to most, chose worlds to protect and give the gifts of life and magic, some chose to be benevolent, given this gift with grace, expecting nothing in return. Others wanted more. And so, with mortal craft ever growing, they sought to make magic of their own, with less fickle connections. They developed ways of learning how to manipulate the weave, the force of magic within their own bodies, how to forge it into their bloodlines so that those after them would be able to more easily manipulate it in the future. And with the genesis of the worlds at a close, the rapid creation of magic, technology, and art slowing down, a message could be heard, sent throughout the cosmos. Lost nowadays, it was the catalyst to a wider galaxy. And within just a few tens of thousands of years, starships were on their way to broader horizons and new worlds. The first of the modern three empires to come into fruition was the Hell Horde. Led by the archdevil Asmodeus, 9 worlds were united from 7 star systems, all of them orbiting a spinning black hole so dense that you could only travel between the worlds at specific times, else you'll fall victim to its hunger. Then, after countless millennia of infighting, the first incarnation of the Draconic Empire sprouted. After all of the intense power struggles, it finally managed to come to its head with a single leader, though it did not last. Its emperor, Zathak, a silver dragon of thought to be unparalleled power, was slain just a few thousand years after laying his claim to more than a dozen worlds of, by all things, a human. Cassar was his name, and they held a special weapon. Lost to time, it's said that its blade could cut through anything. Once the Draconic Empire lay in ruins, the Sapia Conclave founded itself in its ashes. Led by Cassar, they united the slave worlds and formed a free democracy of all who would hear their words. And under their supervision, the Draconic Empire was allowed to pick up its pieces and rebuild, now under the leadership of a red dragon named Contraxis, and she still reigns to this day. In the following years, many small occurrences happened. Stars vanished, worlds became overrun by machines, and a strange new pair of violent armies began to pierce their way into our realm. But that is where we leave off for today, to begin anew with 8 strangers coming together for the first time on Sunday, May 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern in our first campaign, Icarius, the Black Between the Stars. Thank you all for watching.